Friday Night Live with Cat Carter. Get ready, set, let's go. Come on. It's Friday night. It's Friday Night Live. It's Friday night. It's Friday night with Cat Carter. It's Friday night. Hey. It's Friday night. It's Friday night. Yeah. It's Friday night with Cat Carter. It's Friday night. It's Friday Night Live. It's Friday night. It's Friday night with Cat Carter.
Hey, welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Kat Carter. How is everybody doing today? All right, well, just a little follow up. We are still displaced. We are living in a hotel. Hopefully, our claim will be going through real soon so we can get the huge tree and our AC units repaired so we can come back home. So I know I'm looking a little. This is me. This is me. Hardly any makeup or whatever, but I'm still cute, y'all. I'm still cute. Yeah. So, Friday Night Live is a positive platform where we come to inform, innovate, and inspire. OMG. First off, I don't want to forget this. My graphic designer had a birthday, and I forgot to wish him happy birthday with everything that has been going on. So definitely want to wish Minister Derek Donaldson a happy birthday. And he's a guy that does our flyers. He does when we do concerts. He does that any kind of graphic stuff that I need. He takes care of. So you all, if you need any kind of graphic work done, give him a call. His number is 615-720-1300 and tell him that Kat from Friday Night Live sent you. All right. Now, this guest is no stranger to FNL. He's been on here a few times, and every time he comes on, we are blown away. I think I'm blown away by his transparency. He has a beautiful spirit. He has a powerful life testimony, and then a new one that we're going to talk about, which is going to blow your mind. And it's just an honor every time he gets a chance to come back. So he wears plenty of hats. He's a spoken word artist. He's also an author. He does, I believe, counseling. He has like about 5 different hats that he holds. And I don't want to prolong the time because I have kidnapped him for the entire hour. Y'all ready? God fearing soldier is in the hizzy. Yes, he is. Please welcome to Friday Night Live. Welcome back to Friday Night Live. My brother, Hilton Young Sr.
I don't know if I could live up to that introduction.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are so excited every time you come. Every time you come. And I always pray before every show, but it's like certain artists. I mean, like when their life is a testimony, you just don't know who's on the feed that you're going to encourage and bless. And so I don't take it lightly when people like you come on the show that have a powerful testimony. So how have you been since the last time you've been on FNL?
I've been doing okay. I've been blessed for the most part. Uh,
Yes.
Went through some difficult changes between the last time we talked and now, but still blessed, still feeling good, still on the up and up. So there's nothing that I can really complain about.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, we're going to talk about the testimony on the second half, y'all. The first half, I want to get into this book, Trifling to Transformed. OMG. Some of you all already have this book. I know some people have bought it, and I think a couple of people have won it, and we are giving away 2 tonight. So hold on to your socks. So, Hilton, how did you come up with this name of the title of this book? And this is him, by the way, y'all. This is him. This is him. Yes.
Yeah, when I had hair. Yeah. So My children now are 18 years old. Uh, my son was born February 15th, 2005. My daughter was born March 17th, 2005, and they're both 18 now. They are a month and 2 days apart. And so the word trifling came from a life of promiscuity, a lot sleeping with multiple women, sleeping around. And so the word trifling came from that. Transformed came through my journey to redemption, to redeem myself, not only to be delivered from that life of promiscuity, but also redemption in helping my children's mothers also heal from the hurt that I've caused. And so, and through the gift of spoken word, the gift of writing, and things of that magnitude, it was would help me to journey myself through that road of redemption and that road of deliverance. So the gift helped to save my life. It helped to expose it and then save it at the same time. And with the gift of spoken word and being able to deliver a message in an artistic manner, it was able to reach a lot of people who was going through some of the same stuff I was going through, but just didn't know how to articulate it, explain it in a way that people wouldn't, attack
Yeah.
and judge in such a way. And so, it's better that you admit your own faults than for somebody else to call them out. So accountability was one of the big things that I used in writing the book, and also the poetry that I wrote also helped to exploit some of those things without having to go into specific detail about it. Because when you start explaining specific details, that's when the judgment comes. And so I talked about my problems in a general form
Hmm.
to help people understand that generally you're going through that, but there are some specifics that led to that. So the specifics I touch on more in the book, but in the spoken word, in the art form, I was able to, you know, reach an audience of people who were struggling but just didn't know how to explain it or come to grips with it and be totally accepting of themselves in that manner, because we all got a darker side to us.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times we neglect that part of us, we abandon that part of us. And a lot of the times it's that part of us that needs to be loved on more than the parts of us that's loved on by everybody else. We always want to put our good foot forward, but we're only just dragging the other foot behind. And so when you start walking straight and not having to drag neither feet behind, you can be the complete person that you want to be inside and out.
Yeah. My younger sister, Minister Tiaka, she's hanging out with us. She loves when you come on the show. Um, we used to say, like, if you could just not be afraid and just be on Front Street and tell your story, a lot of people would be healed. And that's just it. Don't nobody want to be on Front Street. Don't nobody want to really tell the real. I mean, we'll tell the stuff like we get a house or we got a car, or
Hmm. Yeah,
or we won, but we not about to talk about the skeletons that then
no,
fell out the closet. And so, I mean, for you to have the courage to just share your life, share what you've been through, because there's a lot of people. I mean, you're not the only one.
right.
There's a lot of people, that have done the same thing. There are a lot of people, but they're not coming forward. And by you being able to do that, I believe by you being able to do that, that, like you said, that was part of your healing. But into you encouraged other people, and I believe they got delivered and freed as well. Wow, I think that's just I'm still trying to get there to where I can tell my story, like the real deal story. And I don't know if it's fear or what people are going to say, or I don't know what it is. But I mean, I know it's got to be a process. It doesn't just happen. But I guess you have to have the desire first to want to tell your story. And I guess with the help of God, you were able to do that. And I'm just so grateful
Yeah, it
that you
was
were.
it was the help of God, and my situation uh, backed me into a corner to the point where I had to come out, because I wasn't going to deny either of my children. And
Yeah.
so that promiscuity, that infidelity, the lying and the cheating and things of that magnitude, it was going to be put on Front Street anyway. So uh, I was pushed into a corner where I had to come out. Now, could I have talked my way out of it? Yes, I'm a
Yeah.
poet. I can articulate well, and I got a pretty good handle on the English language, so I could have manipulated my way in a very sophisticated manner and talked my way out of it, but that would have made me much more of a coward. And I could have did some narcissistic stuff like twist it around and put it back on and put the blame on them. But at that point, uh, I was already caught up in it. So if I wanted to really free myself, lying and being manipulative and trying to deceptively talk my way out of it probably would have, no, not probably, it would have put me in a deeper hole,
Yeah.
not just with the people that I love and the people I care about, but with the one upstairs as well. So I just decided to just free myself of all that. It was a very painful journey to travel. Some of it is still painful to this day, but the more you are accepting of yourself, there's not really much people can do in terms of judging you. And people can be harsh and very cruel. But I also found out that it's also a defense mechanism for people to talk about you so that they can cover up, block, and hide
Yeah.
some of the same issues that they're dealing with as well. But they're just too scared and too fearful to do it. And fear is always a big factor. It was a
Yeah.
big factor with me. It still is. But I have to remind myself of who I am inside and out, the good and the bad, the dark and the light side of me. And so I visit the dark. I visit my darker side every day. Uh, I come in contact with uh, the not so good side of me on a daily basis. Me being a liar, me being a cheat, me being promiscuous, and and I call those things out too because that's a part of who I am. So, am I educated man? Yes. I ain't the best looking man in the world, but I'm not the worst. Intelligent, smart, bright, all those characteristics that I have, plus my ability to discern and my ability to help people counsel, all those things sound good. I mean, I'm working on my doctorate, I have a master's. All those things sound good, but I'm also a liar. I'm also a cheat, and all those other things. Now, am I delivered from it? Yes, but just because the alcoholic is in sobriety for 25 years doesn't mean that he's not an alcoholic. So when the
Yeah.
alcoholic goes to the meeting and say, "Hi, I'm so and so, and I'm an alcoholic. I've been sober for 25 years," your sobriety, or in what we say in Christendom, your deliverance, does not relieve you of who you are from that darker perspective. As long as we're living in this sinful flesh, we, we're, we're going to be a very imperfect person. And Paul said, I die daily. So when you die daily, you
Yeah.
are confessing who you are inside and out, good and bad, on a daily basis, so that you can be more in touch with who you are from every perspective and not have to neglect neither part of yourself.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing when you were talking. As the Bible says, like you have to crucify your flesh daily. It's a daily thing. I mean, you like I'm not perfect either. I mean, given the right situation, I might slip. You just don't. You have to crucify yourself daily. What do you think about generational curses? Because even though I hear, like your story, sometimes I feel like some of the things that we do, like even I'll use myself. I mean, I wonder sometimes if it's generational stuff um, that maybe you don't realize, things that we've been exposed to, things that we've been. I don't know. What do you think about generational curses? Was that part of the healing, like being delivered from generational curses as well, or
Yeah, I think so. I'm one of 18. And so I have 17 siblings on my father's side, or my biological father's side of the family, and I have his soul rest in peace. And my biological mother, I have one sibling on that side of the family. So yeah, and of course those generational from a biological perspective, yeah, they are passed down to us from a biological perspective. How we handle it is a completely different story. But my father and my mom, They came together. They was kind of messing around a little bit. Both of them were married at the time. So I was conceived out of technically I was conceived out of our infidelity. So you know, but people, they're not perfect. None of us
Right.
are perfect. So it's not to be looked upon as people just being careless or people just being bad people.
Right.
Neither my biological father nor my mom were bad people. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
just people who made poor decisions, just as I make poor decisions, just as we all make poor
Right.
decisions. But it's definitely it's a something that's going to be passed down from you generationally. How you handle it, how you navigate yourself through the whole process of breaking the generational curse, it's going to be totally up to you. And at that time, um, when I got both my children's moms uh, pregnant, that was a moment right there where I said, you know what, I probably get that from my biological father,
Yeah.
being that he had so many kids, and some of my siblings on my biological father I haven't even met yet, but on his side, I know most of them, met most of them, and have pretty good relationship with most of them.
Mhm.
But some of them I haven't even met yet, and I don't even know. And I hope to meet them one
One
day.
day.
But
Yeah.
yeah, uh, but that's pretty much it. So I made it a point to not let that happen with my kids.
Yeah.
That they grow up and they know each other, and my children are the best of friends. They are a true brother and sister. They love each other to death, and they can't stand each other. There's sibling rivalry between the two. We're the best of friends. I mean, we just came off a 7-day cruise, and
I'm jealous.
yeah, and well, I needed it, and of
I
course
need one.
we're gonna talk about that in the next segment. But it was very much needed. It was my very first vacation I ever took. So, but yes, my children, they talk on the phone, they FaceTime each other every single day, and so it's not a day that they're not hanging out with each other. So I made I made it my purpose to make sure that they didn't have to live in a manner in which I live without my pops being there. And how you gonna take care of 17 kids? So I didn't hold it against them. You know, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but he couldn't he couldn't be who I needed him to be at that time, and I understood that before I met him. So I never
Yeah.
had this resentment or bitterness towards him. It was cool. I was happy to meet him when I met him when I was 20. So it was good to meet him at that time. It was good to meet all my siblings too. So I had no ill will towards it, but you know I had to break that curse at least from the perspective of being there for my children the best way I
Yeah. That right there is just powerful for you. I mean, like, because like you said, your parents do the best that they can. Our parents do the best they can, but like, some point you can't keep going around blaming everybody else because you. I mean, at some point there has to be, like you said, accountability, and you did it. You said, okay, I'm going to be accountable for my part in this, and I'm not going to have, this is not going, the generational curse stops here. It's not going to my babies. And you did the work. You actually did the work. Oh my gosh.
It's tough,
Wow.
and it's very painful. It's a very painful process because there's a quote that I quote all the time. It says, "Accountability feels like an attack when you're not ready to acknowledge or own your toxic behavior."
Yeah.
And the way I explain that, accountability feels like an attack when you're not ready to own your stuff, and that's pretty much it. And so, accountability is a hard thing to come by. When that mirror finally turns inward and you
Yeah.
see yourself for who you really are, that's a very painful process to come to grips with who you are and how who you are has damaged
And
other
affected other
people.
people. Yeah.
Yes. And my behavior damaged other people. So I spent quite a bit of time helping being a willing participant in how I can help my children's mothers heal from the damage I caused. If you ever want to engage in a true apology, you have to be willing to help repair the damages you caused. Most people, when it comes to accountability, are not prepared to handle the part where they are willing to participants in helping the damaged people get healed, particularly when you cause their damage.
Mhm.
Because when people say ouch, we don't always like how people say ouch. So
Yeah,
I was willing to give them the freedom to say ouch in whatever manner they wanted to
they
say it.
needed to do it. Yeah,
Yes. So if they needed to cuss me out and call me every dog and every child in the book, but a child of God, I was willing to take the pain
for them to be
that,
free.
for them to be free and be
Wow.
understanding of it. Like
You all listen to this. This is so
most
deep to
people,
me.
yes, most people are not healed because the people that damaged them has not yet been able to apologize for the damage that they caused. It's apologizing is more than saying I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You have to be able to know and explain and articulate what you're actually sorry for. And some people think that when they give apologies, they're doing the other person a favor. Some people say like, well, I said I was sorry. What else you want me to do? I cannot tell you how incredibly arrogant that it is for people to take the position of being defensive when they are the ones that cause the damage. And some people take the defense role because they don't like being attacked. Well, people are only responding to the hurt and the pain that you cause. So they're saying ouch, but they're saying ouch in a different way. You have to be willing to allow the people that you're helping to heal from the damage that you caused to say ouch in a manner in which they are free to explain it or free to articulate it in any way they feel like they're doing it, because ouch don't always sound like ouch. you know
yeah. You all do me a favor. Those of you that are on here, if you would share this podcast because it's going to get really, really. It's get this just get we just getting started, and maybe something that's sad today can encourage someone, um, or help someone be free. And this is why you all need to check out this book. And we're going to talk. I'm going to allow him to give some nuggets. We haven't even got to the book yet because this is how it happens when he comes. I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I just feel like I know there needs to be order when you, like, even in church, there needs to be some kind of order, but sometimes the Lord will shift stuff and you have to be willing to allow that shift. And that's what I'm allowing to happen because it's not about me and it's about you, but it's not just about you. It's about
no,
people that are going to be healed and saved by whatever you speak today. And so I'm just a willing vessel. This is just a platform that the Lord is using to do what he needs to do. So if he wants to shift it, guess what?
It's been shifted.
It's been shifted. Yep, 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 yep. Okay. All right. So, trifling to be transformed. Where can they find this book at, Hilton, before we go any further?
it's all the digital distribution networks. We got Amazon, we got Barnes and Noble, we got Barnes and Noble. I think there's the Nook app. Amazon, I think they have the Kindle app. Um, Walmart, I think they have an online version of it. So all of the digital distribution networks that's out there. Also, you could just Google Trifling Transform, and all the digital distribution networks should be able to pull up when you Google Trifling and Transform.
Okay. What I wanted to do, if it's okay with you, Hilton, I wanted to go through this, excuse me, and wherever my hands lead, whatever chapter, I'm gonna
Sure,
say the name of the chapter and just give like a little nugget. Is that okay?
gotcha.
All
I'm
right.
gonna try without giving away too much of it.
Okay. How the gift saved my life.
Well, there's a term called catharsis, and in mental health, in the psych world, it means an emotional discharge. In the artistic side of catharsis, it means an emotional cleansing of your soul. And so the Greek translation for catharsis is to cleanse. That's the Greek translation of it. So when I was able to freely speak about what's going on with me, I was cleansing myself of all of the dirt that was in me that I projected onto other people, whether I knew I was doing it or not, subconsciously or consciously. And so being able to write those things out or journal those things out, or another thing that we call catharsis, when there was no one else to talk to, the pen and the pad allowed me to express myself without judgment. And in order for me to go on this healing process of being delivered inside out, I was I had to make sure that I didn't uh, talk to people who I knew would judge me in such a harsh way. And so when I figured out, so when I tried to find out who can I talk to about that, God was one person I could talk to. And then the pen and the pad was the other entity that I used in order to be able to save myself, because it is very toxic and very dangerous to hold so much in and to carry so much of a burden, so much. You know how people say, well, I'm going to take this to my grave? That's the very thing that put them in the grave.
Holding
And
all that stuff in.
holding all that stuff in. And so when people say, well, it was the cancer, well, do know that stress weakens the immune system.
Yes, it
So
does.
at the core of that cancer, it was the stress and probably the weakened immune system that caused the cancer. And so if we're not managing our stress well by the fact that we hold stuff in, do understand you're slowly but surely committing your own prolonged suicide when you're not managing your stress well. It is not commendable to hold stuff in. Holding stuff in does not make you a strong person, but we've been taught that for so long, that you're such a strong person for holding all that in. We as men, we hold stuff in
Yeah.
all the time, and we're told to suck it up, stop acting like a punk,
Don't
stop
cry.
acting weak. You
Hmm.
can't cry and all that stuff. And when we hold that stuff in, and that's why we die at such a young age, particularly of heart problems. I just had a guy that I played basketball against in high school. He passed out. He passed out. He died of a heart attack just a few weeks ago playing basketball. So he was in shape. So do understand, exercises is one of the ways of dealing with stress. But if you're not taking care of yourself in other ways, like having someone to talk to, getting some therapy, getting some counseling, you can still fall out with a heart attack, even though you're exercising, because exercise is not the only thing that handles stress. You have to be able to get out of you what you have in you,
Wow.
or it's going to kill you, period. Stress is the silent killer,
Yes.
and it's the number one killer before cancer, before AIDS, before pneumonia, before leukemia. If you're not handling your stress well, that's really the number one killer before anything else. Because when a doctor has the diagnosis, you still have to know what caused the diagnosis. You have to be able to know where the sickness is. And the sickness is not always in the physical. A lot of times the sickness is in the mental,
Hmm.
and the emotional, and the psychological, and the spiritual. And we die those deaths before we die the physical death.
Yeah. Stress. Sometimes it's serious also because sometimes you could be stressed and you don't realize that you're stressed. Like I didn't realize that I have anxiety. I was either reading something or watching like a health video, and they start putting like different. I was like, wait a minute, I do that. Wait a minute, huh?
Yeah.
And then I was able to put a name to what was going on so that I can try to get healed. I didn't know
Yeah.
what it was, but yeah, stress. Sometimes you can be stressed and you don't even know it. You don't even realize it, and that's why it
Yes.
can be very dangerous as well.
Yes,
All right.
positive or negative.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of that too, because if you don't manage your stress, positive or negative, you're still doing yourself a grave injustice by not managing your stress well. So even from a positive perspective, when everything's going good, you still have to find time to give yourself a break from that too, to be able to recover and to recuperate from the stress it takes to keep this thing going, even if it's positive. You still have to manage your stress either way it
Yeah.
goes. Stress is stress, whether it's positive or negative. So you have to be aware that even though everything's going right and positive in your life, you still have to give yourself a break from the normalcy or the routine of that life and do something else to take care of yourself.
Okay. Here's one. We'll do one more and then we'll take a little break and let your voice rest for a second because I want you to do some spoken word. Um, the mask of Christianity, and this is really interesting because there is a scripture at the beginning of this chapter, Mark 7:5-9. So the mask of Christianity, Hilton.
Okay, so and some Christians might get upset with me on this, but it
Uh-oh.
is what it is, and that's fine. I'm not going to say anything graphic or anything like that. Um, the mask of Christianity, um, in being a Christian, I've had that false perception that because I got Jesus in my life, that I don't have to worry about anything else because I'm a Christian and I'm saved. So while I got a whole lot of stress going on, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, I don't feel the need to take care of myself and to walk in the conduct in which I am called to walk in being a Christian. So a lot of people use Christianity to justify living a life of sin, not being able to take care of ourselves the way we should take care of ourselves, the foods we eat, the people we hang around, um, not going to see the doctor, not participating in counseling and all other stuff. It's a lot of stuff that we think we don't need to do from a human perspective. And so a lot of the times we use Christianity to mask our humanity. And
Wow.
you have to take care of your human spirit, your human soul, and your human flesh, and
Wow.
not use Christianity to mask who you really are as a person. And so I decided to not use Christianity to mask who I am, but to use Christianity to uncover who I am. And so, and a lot of times we use Christianity in that way. So Christianity, we use it to mask and we puff ourselves up to become somebody that we're not. So that's pretty much what the mask of Christianity was talking about in that particular segment
Wow.
of the book. Yeah.
You went right down my street when you talk about the stuff you eat. You should, you need to lose some weight. You got to take care of your body. And I am now, but I had a scare, a health scare to really get my attention, which it
Yeah.
shouldn't even got to that. I should have been, you know, but yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, as long as we think we're healthy, and as long as we think we got a good blood pressure and our cholesterol is doing pretty good, that's not a guarantee that you're completely and entirely healthy. And so there's certain things, and because some people, because they have a good blood pressure and their cholesterol is good, they think that they can eat whatever they want and not diet, not exercise, not do some of the things that the body needs, and then eventually, long term, it catches up with us. Even long term stress, long term anxiety. And anxiety makes us worry a lot, is excessive worry. And
Yeah.
a lot of times, anxiety can lead to panic attacks and
Yeah.
anxiety attacks and things like that. And so if you're not taking medication, if you're not doing what the doctor tell you to do, then you're doing yourself a grave injustice. And just because you feel good that day and everything feels all right doesn't mean that anything can happen to you at any given time. So
All right. Are you all enjoying Hilton? Put some hearts and some likes in the comments and encourage him. He's a young man that's very transparent and has a passion for people being delivered and transformed. I'm going to take a quick break, Hilton, and do a trivia. let your voice rest. And then on the other side of the break, we're going to listen to some spoken word, and we're going to talk about um, a testimony that Hilton went through about a month or so ago. All right. So rest a little bit, Hilton. Give me a few minutes, and I'll be right back. All right. Okay. So, wow. Okay. Let's do it. All right. Here we go. Okay, so I want to remind you all that we are doing preventative health discussions. It started the second week in August, and we will be continuing to the end of August. Actually, next week we have two doctors, Green and Green. They're going to be talking about mental health. I'm actually doing a study with Friday Night Live, and it's centered around these podcasts. So I am very passionate about. People get the right information. And one thing about medical, it's important that you get the right information. And sometimes on social media, you don't get the right information. And so this is an opportunity for you to hear the truth about ailments, whatever I'm talking about. And you can actually ask the doctor questions and get some answers right here on the show. Um, there is a survey. The link is on Friday Night Live, and the past podcasts that we've done caregiving as in the caregiver, what the caregiver goes through trying to take care of a loved one. We've also had somebody here about STEM, STEM, which is the acronym for science, technology, engineering, and math. And so we were talking about why it's important, specifically to encourage African American students to possibly go into that field, because we are depreciating a number in the STEM arena. And so we talked about the importance of that. And, as an African American woman, I would like to have the choice, if I wanted to have an African American doctor. So it's very important. And then last week we did men's health. And so Dr. Rembert was here. He talked about prostate cancer, testicular cancer, erectile dysfunction, infertility, all of that stuff. He talked about the symptoms. He talked about why men are afraid to go to the doctor. He encouraged. So if you're on here, check out one of those podcasts for me, please. And then the survey is like 3 minutes. It's anonymous. I won't even know who you are. It's mostly multiple choice questions. If you could do that for me, the more data that I can get, it'll help me do better shows in the future. So please, if you would, please do that for me. All right. So let's do our trivia. Crabs, we have, I believe, two. I got one in the mail. I think another one is coming, of Hilton Young Senior. This is a God-fearing soldier. This is his book, Trifling to Transform. So the question is, what or who was the month of August named after? And here are your choices: a British king, a Roman emperor, the first pope, or an ancient battle. Put your answers in the comments, and we're going to find out a little bit later who the winner is. And I'm going to go back to um, excuse me, let me go back to Hilton. Sorry. Okay. Here he is. All right. I'm going to let you do spoken word. So kind of give us the title and or whatever you want to say about it. And then it's on you, however you want to do it.
Yeah, life living inside of death. Just basically saying that my body is constantly deteriorating, but the inside of me is being renewed every day by Christ. So pretty much that. So out of the depths of despair, depression, and hopelessness, I speak in brokenness. And every single time I'm faced with a situation, I write. To find the best way of approaching this, so through spoken lips, I must verbally vent and express my ongoing frustrations of how to cope with this. So with boldness and clarity, I will openly discuss and exploit my disparity because there are things in my life that I am going through that I don't care to be, but are necessary, even though sometimes it just doesn't seem quite fair to me. So as I attempt to pluck up the roots of my trials, tribulations, and miseries, please understand that I have been hurt by some of the very folk are considered to be near and dear to me, and it has become painfully, obviously, quite clear to me that everything in this world is not always what they appear to be. Are you hearing me? You see, the scripture says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. So I have to protect my heart because I don't know what you would think of me when I step away from this platform at the end of the night. Because when I leave this place, there may be some issues that are going on at home that I may have to fight because whatever goes on in the darkness will surely come out to the light. And today, my question is, do you know what's behind this mic? Sleepless nights, loss of appetites, broken spirits, hearts contrite, struggling to make ends meet, going home to no lights, one failed relationship after another ending in bitterness and strife, constant thoughts of death having neither cause nor reason to continue in life. You see, I had no motivation. I lost the passion to do the things that I enjoyed the most. I was void of inspiration. It got to the point where I was no longer motivated to speak my voice. I became no more than the walking dead, solitarily confined to the cemetery of my own choice. My spirit was crushed. My bones were frozen. My soul was cold. I was stressing out over situations that were far out of my reach and beyond my control. Excessively overeating and gaining unnecessary weight. Allowing other people to determine and dictate to me my own fate. And most of the time, these situations had me bit out of shape. And now I have finally found out how to get away and take a break, and poetry has become my way of escape. So as I stand on this platform, this is how I keep my sanity, and this is the avenue to release my grievous afflictions and destructive calamities, because these cuts, wounds, and scars that are on the inside of me have become infected, and it's proved to be quite damaging. I don't think you're understanding me, because pain is inevitable, and no one is ever exempt from this. And just like poetry, I need to find a sane and therapeutic way for me to be fulfilled and replenished of my emptiness, because there were pivotal moments in my life that were ever so delicate and significantly vital. I was beginning to lose every sense of intellect. My emotions began to overcloud my judgment, and my thoughts became suicidal. Because you see, I was always the one who would brush my problems to the side, sweep it under the rug, suppressing the issue and dealing with other people's problems at the expense of my own leisure. I thought that if I would indulge in the affairs of other people, they would love me more, but it became even more stressful to be a people pleaser. I gave up so much of myself to please people to the point where my future no longer looked promising. My heart could no longer handle the overflowing capacity of issues I was putting inside of it. I was emotionally and psychologically vomiting because my mental strategy can sometimes lead to mental tragedy, not being able to handle the mental capacity of my internal struggles with no tenacity. But that's okay because you have not seen the last of me. I apply for jobs, but I can't let the fact that I'm black be the reason why you keep passing me. But if you would just sit down and talk to me, then you would see my veracity, my integrity, the significance of my sincerity. My brain is clogged up with all these thoughts in my mind, trying to figure out what in the world went wrong with my spiritual designs, plots, schemes, devices, plans on how I can muster up the audacity, the courage, the strength of my inner man. I demand that the power of God gives me the wisdom to know that I can do all things through Christ, my inner light, my delight, who brought me out of darkness into the marvelous light, who directs me to walk by faith and not by sight, who corrects me from all of my wrongdoings when I'm not doing right. Never let me get ahead of myself. He shares the wealth of my foresight. Sometimes I can be vindictive and do things out of spite. But in the midst of his corrections, I'm going through trials and tribulations in the list of my depressions. At a cost, I am lost trying to find myself. Was I sold into my own slavery, or was I bought at a price that I was not even aware of, that it was his love that willingly allowed him to lay down his life? It's nothing but the blood. But my internal struggles can't go unnoticed. It's something I have to deal with in order to keep my focus. This is not abracadabra, hocus pocus. I wish I could make my problems disappear with some magic potion. When I'm hurt, I have to deal with the depths of my emotion. Sometimes I feel like everything is moving in slow motion. So with the pen and the pad, I'm lost in the realm of words, trying to be philosophical and other encouraging things I've heard, and it becomes distracting. When you begin to think that absolutely nothing about you is physically attractive, being fake and phony by your brilliant acting, exercising, lifting weights, trying to be cute instead of just trying to be you, spending way too much time on beautifying the outside and not enough time on beautifying the inside. If I am weak inwardly, then I must understand and begin to know that outwardly my weaknesses will begin to show. And I notice without a shadow of a doubt that whatever is in you will eventually come out, because no one would start loving me until I start loving myself. I can only be Hilton Young and nobody else. I'm gonna stop right there because it's about 10 minutes long. So
I was just like,
We were just hearing the message. We were just hearing the message.
You were speaking. OMG. Are they putting some hearts and likes on there? I can't see. Oh my God. Is they like, like Hilton? Oh my goodness. Woo. Woo, woo, woo.
For the entire poem, you can watch, you can get it on YouTube, but it's about 10, 15 minutes long. So I didn't want to take up the rest of the time doing the poem. So
Well, we sure thank you for that. Oh my goodness. You encouraged us. Wow. 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 Okay. Okay. So the first half, you all, we talked about Hilton's book. It's on Amazon. So if you don't win it tonight, please support his ministry, Trifling to Transform by Hilton C. Young Sr., aka God Fearing Soldier. This half, I wanted to talk about. Uh, Hilton told me a testimony, y'all, during Connect Check, and I almost fell out the chair. Do you hear me? I was so floored. Now, you all know I just did my testimony about, had it been about a month ago? I don't even know it's been a month. You all have got to hear Hilton tell his story. Hilton, go ahead and tell us what had happened.
well, so I was at work. I was working out in the field, seeing my clients and providing the best mental health case management I can for them. And in the middle of my day, I start to experience shortness of breath, difficulty breathing. I had chest pains, felt like 100-pound dumbbell was on my chest, lightheadedness, profuse sweating, and I would lose my breath after just walking a few yards. So I realized that something was wrong. And so I called the paramedics. After I drove the car back to work, I called the paramedics and on the way to the hospital and got a CAT scan, ultrasound, all those things. And I had a pulmonary embolism. And the clot was the biggest they've ever seen. It was in my left lung. So they had to perform emergency surgery and pierce my skin and my groin area to take that thing out of me while I was awake, mind you. And the clot was as big as they've ever seen. And they say people died from much, much smaller clots than that. The clot was enormous. And so stayed in the hospital for about a week to a week and a half, and I'm currently in recovery right now. And what's crazy about it, my mom died of a pulmonary embolism, but the doctor said they'd never seen one that big lodged inside somebody's chest, and and that's where I'm here today. And they still don't know what caused it. And so I looked up a lot of stuff online. Anxiety could have been a trigger for that. Stuff that I was eating could have been a trigger for that as well. But there's no way that I should have survived that. No way I should have survived that. And and I'm just here by the grace of God.
Amen. Amen. That is very similar to what happened to me. You all know that I had a pulmonary embolism, but I had several clots. He had one huge clot that they had to take out right away. Wow.
You know,
Wow.
it was
Pastor
huge.
Neil, True Christian Fellowship, is on here hanging out with you. He said God blocked it. He sure did. See, I'm about to run, and I ain't got no AC in here, so I need to be still.
Yeah, y'all need to
But
calm
I'm about
down.
to
We,
run.
we ain't
Pastor
got
Neil
the
going.
AC for
I'm
these
about to.
guys.
I'm about to. You know I'll kick. You know I'll
You ain't
take
got
off.
no water, no ice. We can't.
God is good. I'm just so grateful that you were able to look at Auntie Ada. But God, Elder Neil O'Neill. Wow. Everybody's just like, wow. And I even asked Hilton, then I said, Hilton, if you not up, he said, no, I can do it. I mean, his lungs are strong enough to speak and do what he needs to do. And that's just a blessing right there to it. Wow. Oh my gosh. So I wanted you all to hear that. But pulmonary embolisms are no joke. Um, I've known two people to just die right off the spot. They just fell dead from pulmonary embolism. Yes, 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 yes. All right, Hilton. We're down to the last 10 minutes of the show, and I wanted Cheryl to be able to give. You feel like doing some shout outs tonight?
I sure can.
I wanted you to know who's actually here because you brought some people to FNL, and I just thank you all so much for coming to hanging out on FNL and supporting Hilton today. And then I'm going to allow you to end the show if you want to, if you're up to it, with one more spoken word. Is it okay?
Yeah, that's
We
fine.
got. I guess we need to find out who the winners from the trivia was, right? Okay. Do you know the answer, Hilton? Let me put it up here.
I,
You know the answer. Let me see. Let me see.
I, I guess Roman Emperor. I guess that, but I
Bam.
don't know.
Yeah.
Hey,
It was Augustus Caesar. Yes. August was named after Augustus Caesar, who was the grandnephew of the previous ruler, Julius Caesar, who was named, that's how we got July. Wow. Yep. So do we have some winners, baby girl?
We sure do.
Okay, let me put you on. Okay, let me put Cheryl on. All right. Hey. All right, let me put your mic on. Say hi to Mr. Hilton.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Cheryl,
Hello. Good job. Congratulations. Welcome back. We're good to have. Glad to have you. Glad to
glad
have
to
you.
be here. Thank you.
Let's see here. So our winners today are Jared Joseph and Mrs. Earlstein Gerald off of Facebook. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Whoa!
whoop, whoop. You get the
Jared
buzz.
Joseph is
You
one of
get the
my
buzz.
best friends.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Jared Joseph is one of my best friends. I am actually driving into Houston tonight, right after we get done, to go visit
Wow.
with him. Yep,
Wow.
Wow.
that's my partner. That's my boy. That's my ace.
All right. Amen. Well,
Oh no.
so congratulations to Jared. What's his last name? I got to go back up. What's his last name, Hilton?
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yep.
Okay. Congratulations to Jared Joseph and Miss Gerald. Miss Gerald was my childhood Sunday school teacher. She could tell you some stuff. That's when I was a little something something. That's when I was a little firecracker. Yeah, she could tell you something something. So I need I have Miss Gerald's address. Jared, I need you to go to the FNL inbox and send us email me your mailing address so that we can get that book out there to you. Congratulations.
Mhm.
All right, Shel. So who are some of the people we got on here right quick?
First and foremost, we need to thank our one and only Twitch moderator who's been holding it down since day one, Miss Karan Edmonds over there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Giving you your one ups, girl. I see you over there doing the good thing. Keep it up, keep it up. We also have Walter D. Williams, president of the NAACP Edwardsville chapter, tuning in with us as well. Good to see you. We have Prophetess Tia Alicia here as well, hanging out with you. We have Miss Donna O'Neill as well. And prayers are going out to you, Donna. I just saw your comment. It's scary how many blood clots are an issue for a lot of people these days. Or it seems like it's just coming up. And
I
so
missed the comment. I had to go and look at it.
it's at the end. You can see
Prayers
it.
for you, Elder Donna. Love
Yes,
you.
yes, prayers. We also have our Auntie Ada tuning in on YouTube. Good to see you, Auntie Ada. We have Pastor Neil tuning in with you on Facebook. Um, we have Miss Whittington Steele, the magnanimous Whittington Steele, tuning in with you on YouTube. How you doing, girl? We have my lovely Gigi as well tuning in with you on Facebook. We have Mrs. Earlstein Gerald as well. Good to see you. Congratulations on that book. We have, I'm assuming one of your fans, Jeffrey D. Smith, tuning in with us. Good to see you, brother.
My frat brother.
Welcome.
It's my frat
Welcome,
brother.
welcome.
Yep.
What did you pledge?
Look at this. Look at this. Aware.
Ada,
Of course,
Ada
aware.
Lambda Lambda.
Ada Lambda Lambda. All right.
Yes.
I don't have much experience with that one, but welcome. We're glad to have frat brothers here, spreading the love and spreading
Mhm.
just spreading the fellowship for real, for real. We also have Ken Carlisle Jr. tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, Big Ken is my guy. He is my guy. Yep.
Awesome. We hope you
Yep.
enjoyed the show. We hope you come on back.
Yep.
We have Miss Kimberly Naira. Welcome as well on Facebook. I hope
Yeah,
you come back and
Kimberly, that's my fellow New Orleanian.
Woo!
Yep,
New
Kimberly.
Orleans in the
yep,
house. Whoop, whoop.
yep.
They got some good food in New Orleans.
Yes.
I got to go
You
visit
better
over
believe
there.
it. The best in the
Boudin.
world.
We've been talking about Boudin for like a month straight. I swear.
Oh,
Yeah.
and shout out to Big Ken too. The dopeless hope fiend is
The
what he called
dopeless.
himself. Yeah, the dopeless
Shout
hope
out.
fiend.
hmm
What y'all know about that? Yes, indeed.
We need more of them. We need
Yeah,
more of them.
down for Christ, down for life. That's his
Amen.
ministry. Down for life. Yep.
We also have Charlene, the Stamp Keeper Blair, tuning in with us. Amazing entrepreneur here in our area. It's good to see you, sis. Um,
Ken said, "Stop snitching."
we got Miss Amy Worth tuning in as well. Good to see you again. Welcome back. We have K Ward Radio tuning in with you on YouTube. Good to see
Jazzy.
you, Jazzy. I got Jeff. We have Nikki A. Tadlock. Welcome, Nikki. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Another fellow New Orleanian.
Okay, Nola,
New
we got some
Orleans is in
Nolas
the
in the
house.
Shout out to
house.
St. Mary's Academy for sure.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop. Representing, I love it. Good to see it. We also have Mr. Jared Joseph and
That's my
welcome and
partner. That's my ace. Boo. Cool.
congratulations on that book. We hope you come back and join us another time.
Also, Bianca Drury is in the house as well.
Mhm. See her.
Long time friend.
Wow, there's
About
a lot of people in here.
yeah,
Yes, there are.
You see some more
about
people?
30 years,
Hilton,
me and
just
Bianca.
yes, say their names if you see them. I'm trying to get
Yeah,
them. If
shout
you
out
see
to
them,
Bianca.
Hilton.
Love you, B. Glad you came on. Love all my people that came on to hear the show.
Yes. Did we get Ken?
Yes,
We
Yeah, we
got
got Big
Ken.
Ken.
yes,
Talk
We
I
about
get
got
stop
Ken.
Nikki.
snitching.
We got Nikki.
Yes, I
Yeah,
got it.
we got
All
Nikki.
right. Okay.
We
Don't want to
got
miss nobody.
Portland E.C. Ward on here. I wanted to say hi to you as well. She's tuning in with you. And I know there's some people out there in the bleachers that ain't commenting
It's
to you
okay.
guys.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here regardless.
Yeah. We have people in Lurk Lounge, but that's all right. That's all right. All right, Hilton. The clock on the wall it says is all. Do you have time to give us one more on the way out?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna allow you to give some final words, but before you do that, I just want to thank Hilton. I just want to thank you so much for giving of your time and encouraging us
Always a pleasure.
once again. And
Always a
I'm
pleasure.
telling y'all, when I have my next concert, I'm trying to get Hilton. I'm trying to get Hilton here. I'm sorry. I think we need some spoken word. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm gonna have to twist his finger and be like, please, please. Yeah, I gotta get Hilton here. But thank you so much. This was very rich information. This is powerful. God bless you as you continue to spread your testimony. And I ask that the Lord continues to heal your body and make you stronger than you were before it even happened. We love you here at FNL, and when time permits, we would love for you to come back and hang out with us again.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We'd love to.
All right, so we're gonna let you you get to end the show however you want to end it.
He is so good to me. Jesus befriended me. Through my nostrils, he put the wind in me. So as you listen to this verbal calligraphy that God has given me, I'll spit soliloquies over these metaphors and these symbols, huh? I'm the epitome of Genesis 1's epiphany, that I'm created in God's imagery. I'm God's mini me, a direct reflection of him in me, inextricably attached to the vine that flows through my veins. Unequivocally, he defended me. He defended me from the enemy who has the tendency to try to create enmity between the entities of the appended three, combined interdependently, the whole and blessed Trinity. He went through extremities in the Garden of Gethsemane when his humanity communed with his divinity with a powerful chemistry. When he prayed, the only remedy is what he initially did not intend to be, a living sacrifice, to die for the sin of me. Jesus is so good to me. So much now that I have the capacity to live endlessly and abundantly without having any negligence or perfunctory. He actually keeps me company. So with this power invested in me, demons shall succumb to me. In spite of all of this junk in me, I know that he's not done with me. So I will keep telling you how good he is. So please excuse my redundancy. Jesus is so good to me.